Happy International Women's Day. We have a look at how this holiday is celebrated around the world.
Also, we sit down with Corey McMahon for an exclusive interview about his new exhibition.
We have more to come. You're watching Studio G. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Studio G. I'm Alexis Ferraro.
And I'm Tara Mack.
More than 2,400 flights were canceled to and from airports throughout the Northeast, such as in Boston, Philadelphia, and New York. As the second winter storm hit the area, many flights were already canceled on Tuesday. This storm has brought in heavy snow and strong winds in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. United Airlines, Delta, JetBlue, and American Airlines had put waivers for travelers affected by the storm, allowing them to change their plans without paying additional fees.
Many West Virginia students were finally back in school for the first time this month. The statewide teacher strike ended after 9 days of no classes. Lawmakers signed a bill on Tuesday to give a 5% raise to all state employees, including teachers and staff. Many students and teachers were excited to be back in school.
Former drug CEO Martin Shkreli is being forced to give up some of his prized possessions after a judge ordered him to cough up more than $7 million. Shkreli was convicted of fraud for deceiving investors and misusing their funds while serving as a manager at a hedge fund last year. But the infamous CEO is most known for hiking up the price of a life-saving AIDS drug. Now, a judge says he must forfeit $7.4 million as punishment for his crimes. Reports say Shkreli will have to fork over many of his possessions, including a one-of-a-kind Wu-Tang album and a priceless Picasso painting. On top of that, he will be forced to put up $5 million more in bail money.
Metro Police is joining a long list of departments blocking citizen access to police scanners. The department is citing safety concerns, but others worry about transparency for a department that's already been under the microscope. Martha Saldana tells us why Metro decided to make the change.
Technology has in some ways opened the floodgates of information. Some sites give online access to first responders' scanners feed, and Facebook pages like Las Vegas Emergency Incidents allow citizens to share that information.
The public wants to know what's going on, and I believe they have the right to.
Mike Slyman ran the page, a close and closely monitored group who up until a few weeks ago could report on things they heard on police scanners.
It's where you get information on what's not on the news.
Now Metro has scripted those scanners, limiting the access.
What are you trying to keep from the general public?
But Metro says criminals are also listening, jeopardizing officer safety, and planning their crimes accordingly. Slyman doesn't disagree with the need to keep tactical movements and undercover work encrypted, but called this information control tactic.
Oh, well, we'll let you know what you need to know when you need to know it.
The Department of Homeland Security released a briefing on encryption, finding it helps manage the risk to personal safety and protects sensitive information. Give an example of when it would have been beneficial, including the Fort Hood shooting in 2014, when false information was released online. But Slyman says having instant access is a sense of comfort because this is how people communicate in 2018.
It might not be a newsworthy story, so why can't we know what's going on in our neighborhoods?
Metro said in a statement, this is especially a problem in large-scale public order situations, where the protesters are heavily organized and have communication networks of their own. The department also cited concerns with patient privacy laws and other sensitive information as one of the reasons to block the channels to citizens.
With the overwhelming debate on climate change, the Greenspun Hall hosted a movie screening of Saving Snow on Tuesday. We had an inside scoop on what expert panelists had to say about the climate change controversies.
Saving Snow documentary does a great job of covering why climate change really matters for small mountain communities. We're asking people to make major behavioral changes. There is recognition that downhill skiing is a pretty carbon-intensive industry. Not only is it difficult to get people to change their behavior when they know that it might be something that is expensive or painful, we also recognize that there's difficulty when it comes to the language of uncertainty, that oftentimes when people are being asked to do something different, they want to do something when they know that for certain their actions are going to have an impact.
Everybody can become comfortable with the discussion of what may be happening with climate change if you figure out what matters to them. So I've spent a lot of time talking to businesses and making sure that businesses understand that sustainability and renewable energy are things that are good for them and are things that can help their bottom line and are things that can be both good for their economics as well as for the environment. And it's a win-win. And we've really seen that in a lot of the policies that have been developed in this state.
You know, we try to be as efficient as possible with snow. We have a 10 million gallon reservoir up there, and it's reclamation as far as the snow melts, and then we collect it, and then we make snow come next season. So the advances in technology have led us and allowed us to make more snow. Again, with temperatures and or looking at power consumption and water consumption, efficiencies in technology have definitely kept us going. One of the other things that we look to do to be innovative and adapt is to become a 4-season resort. I would say within the last 5 years or so, Lee Canyon's summer summer contribution is probably increased from around 5 to 15%. Of its revenue. And some of the things that we're doing as far as sustainability is, our resort looks towards solar, and we have solar up there. We're completely off the grid, and because of solar, we're probably saving around 200 gallons of diesel, almost 200 gallons of diesel on average. We're trying our part as well as. Again, it's a business, so we're here to be profitable, and but then also be a part of the community.
Learn more about the Saving Snow documentary by visiting adoptionnow.com.
Today is International Women's Day, a day celebrating the social, political, and economic achievements of women. This century-old holiday is held around the world in more than 100 countries, and some cities, such as London, England, have over 150 events planned, including #MarchForWomen. UNLV is hosting an International Women's Day dinner and discussion in which International Council and students organizing diversity activities will introduce new ways to join the movement. The dinner will be tonight at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the Student Union, room 208. You can also visit internationalwomensday.org to find out how you can get involved.
And just in time for International Women's Day, Mattel introduced a new batch of Barbie dolls based on real-life women. This week, Mattel announced a new series of Barbies called Inspiring Women and added new ones to the She-Ro line dolls. The Inspiring Women dolls are based on historical figures who have made significant contributions to society, such as aviator Amelia Earhart, artist Frida Kahlo, and mathematician Katherine Johnson. The She-Ro series, which started in 2015, have 14 new additions. They released a new doll based on the director of Wonder Woman, Patty Jenkins, and Chloe Kim, a 2018 Winter Olympic gold medalist. The dolls are currently on pre-sale on the Barbie website, but will be in stores soon.
Coming up, we've got details on what happened at the USA Sevens tournament.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You make friends, you gain skills, you learn how to do all this stuff with audio. It's a fantastic thing.
I can grow with everyone and everybody supports me as well as I can support them.
I think it's great. I think it's a blessing to have this kind of equipment from the Green Spawn family as well as the state of Nevada.
And it's really informative to see, how a radio show really works.
Now that I do it, I have friends, I have people that want to hang out, and I get to play music a lot.
It's very good too because we have all the top of the line equipment to work with and students here that can help you out, so it's a very, very good way to get involved in the radio.
Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own, and that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
The World Rugby Sevens Series is a tournament showcasing the largest international professional teams. The USA Sevens is just one of the 10 rounds of the Sevens World Series. The USA Sevens took place from March 2nd to March 4th at UNLV San Boyd Stadium. For 3 days, 16 teams participated in 7-minute matches to place into the championship finals.
It's my dad's 70th birthday. He is from South Africa. My husband is Malaysian, and so they both love rugby. And this is our first time here. So now I am a convert. I love it. It's fantastic. It's great to see all the people like dressing up and seeing the fans. It's awesome.
For the first time in history, USA's very own Eagles won the Sevens tournament on home soil. This was the 4th time they've been in the finals. The Eagles won a 28-0 win against Argentina. Congratulations to the USA men's rugby team. USA now joins Argentina and Scotland as 2-time Cup victors. The team will be competing next in the Canada Sevens on March 10th and 11th.
February has ended, but the month of love brought in more joy and warmth to those who needed it. A day after Valentine's Day, the American Society of Interior Designers hosted a unique workshop at Cray-Vet Showroom at Las Vegas Design Center, where members shared the love by donating teddy bears to the Children's Heart Foundation.
Coordinator for last year for ASID, which is the American Society of Interior Designers. We hosted the same event. It's called Share the Love, and we collect teddy bears for the charity that we choose each year. Last year was the Children's Hospital at UMC, and this year is the Children's Heart Foundation.
This is actually my second time coming. We have it annually, and the time is to spend time with other interior designers, to also bring a teddy bear, which goes to our charity of the year.
Those teddy bears definitely found some new loving homes. Now let's hear what Drea has for us about our weekend weather. Drea?
I do love teddy bears. That's all. Welcome to Studio G. I'm here with your weather. Today it is 61 degrees and a high of 71 and a low of 49, mostly sunny. And today is International Women's Day. And if you go to McDonald's, which I do not highly suggest, but if you go to McDonald's, you look around, you see some of them have turned their M's upside down in support of National Women's Day. Women have been through a lot since 2017, starting with the inaugural Women's March in protest against Donald Trump's presidency, also with the sexual harassment allegations between the Win and all other a few other allegations involving women have been very prominent last year, rolling into this year, actually. It's been quite a year for women, so what a better time to celebrate all the wonderful women in your life on International Women's Day. And your 5-day forecast. Today it is 74 degrees, mostly sunny. Friday is going to be partly cloudy, 77 degrees. Saturday it's going to be partly cloudy also, 73 degrees. Sunday we're still going to see some showers, but it's still going to be warm at 70 degrees, and all the lows are around 52. Warming up, and we're starting to see a lot more sun instead of wind. Right now in the valley we have Centennial at 63, Summerlin at 61, Southern Highlands at 63, Las Vegas 61, North Las Vegas 61, Green Valley 63, Henderson 63, Nellis 63, and Boulder City 61. And if you look on the weather, it also says that it feels like 72, so it says 63, but it is definitely warm. This morning on UNLV's campus, it is 63 degrees, mostly sunny, wind speeds around 3 miles per hour, not as bad as it's been, humidity 12%. And tonight it is a lot warmer, 50 degrees on campus. It's going to be partly cloudy with 3 miles per hour winds again. On the national forecast, you can see in the northeast it's raining and snowing in Seattle and Portland, also in Boise and Great Falls. It's warming up here down in the Valley of San Francisco, 63, and Los Angeles, 73. If you look on the East Coast, they're still experiencing a ton of snow. It's cleared up from yesterday for sure. Their highs are 40 and lows about 35, 43. If you look down in Orlando, it's still nice. It is 76 degrees in Miami, so spring break for some of you guys is probably popping right now. And Orlando, it's 66. And also in Texas, they're reaching some high 70s. So that's all I have for weather today, and back to you at the anchor desk.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll sit down and talk with Corey McMahon about his art show. Don't go anywhere.
First, it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
It's the Rebel and Revolt show. Pretty good show about, just someone who will actually talk about UNLV the way an outsider might feel. We talk about current events, we talk about politics, try to take an offensive swing with it. Sometimes it's hit or miss, and then we talk about, the little things in life that everybody laughs about. And we are the Rebels and we are revolting. My name is Jameson Wilk and I run the Rebel and Revolt show, and you can tune in at therebelhd2.com.
We are member supported. KUNV 91.5, The Source. Here's why you should become a member. Become a part of the public radio family while keeping jazz alive in Southern Nevada. Every member receives a discount card to businesses and restaurants around the valley, along with a premium of KUNV branded items. Exclusive access to KUNV ticket giveaways for concerts and events, and private members-only events with prominent musicians such as Paul Taylor, Vincent Ingala, and many more. We are 91.5 The Source, and that source is you. So become a member today.
An intermediate artist and graduate student pursuing a master's in fine arts. His thesis exhibition, titled Perfect Form, is currently being showcased at the Donna Beam Fine Art Gallery. Corey, thank you for coming and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So my first question for you is, can you tell me about your thesis expedition? What is currently being displayed in the gallery?
So basically the show is an inquiry on artist intention. Part of the work is a documentation of an event where I crashed my car into guardrails that you would typically see on the freeway, and along with that there's large-scale paintings painted directly on the wall, and there's also a video projection on the top floor.
Wow, okay. Tell me, why did you call it Perfect Form? What was the idea behind the name?
It has to do with the moment a decision is made, and there's no redos or looking back, only forward, so each passing moment is unique and necessary.
Basically, perfect form in the moment, then.
The past moment, you can't go back and change it, so it is what it is. Whatever happened, happened.
All right. So, what was the process of setting up the whole expedition like?
It was demanding and challenging. The work is large scale, so the metal guardrail pieces that hang on the wall are close to 1,000 pounds or over that.
Really?
And
how did you pull that off?
just a lot of help, teamwork, a lot of friends. And the paintings that are on the wall are basically as big as they can be in the space. So they're around 14 feet high by 14 feet wide.
Sure, it certainly must have taken you a long time to paint them.
I only had a couple days. So
only a couple days?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you like burning the candle at both ends or something?
Yeah, I like to make work on the spot, directly in the space, not make something outside and take it into the space.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool. So how did you decide on this topic? Were you inspired by someone or something to create this project?
My decisions are pretty impulsive and spontaneous, but at the same time they're well thought out and very contemplative. So I thought about crashing my car for a couple months, and finally I just had to do it.
Well, so it was kind of a spur of the moment thing, very, very on the spot, but also calculated, like instantaneously calculated at the same time. That's quite impressive.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's about intention, the intentional mark of the artist. So every action that you make has to be intentional and thought out, but at the same time it has to happen in an organic way.
All right. So I heard that for your Midway exhibition there was a piece called Historical Paintings on Myself as Haircuts. You cut your own hair to look like historical paintings. What was the process like, and how long did it take for you to do that?
It took about a month. The piece itself took about a month, and I felt pretty embarrassed and vulnerable most of the time. I had really bad haircuts for about a month, but it made me feel closer to painting in a way, even though I was distancing myself from actual painting.
Wow, that sounds fun, you know, cutting your hair to, you know, look like different people all the time.
Different paintings. So I was trying to translate historical paintings as haircuts on myself.
Oh, right.
So it was made where like one painting could turn into the next painting, and it was all historical, important paintings.
Wow, that's quite impressive.
The show, yeah, can I keep talking?
All right, Corey McMahon's show will be open until tomorrow, Friday night. There will be a closing reception starting at 6 p.m. at the Donna Beam Fine Art Gallery. Go check it out, Rebels. After the break, we have a look at the world of b-boy dancing at Zoo Logic Training Camp. Stay tuned.
Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
30-minute show that airs every Tuesday evening at 91.5. You're going to hear Dr. Gary Larson along with our regular contributors talking about what matters to our community. And not only what matters, but why does it matter? We look at our community as a whole, but we also pay special attention to what's happening here at UNLV because that's our home as well. So looking at our metropolis through the lens of a radio show really gives us the unique perspective to tell a story through words and through people, and I think it makes for a great program.
You don't get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot. If you have a child interested in breakdancing or interested yourself but don't know where to start, Zoologic will give you the basic knowledge and skills to become a breakdancer.
The 5 elements of hip-hop are DJing, b-boying, emceeing, graffitiing, and breakdancing.
Zoologic on 3. 1, 2, 3. Zoologic!
Zoologic, a breakdancing company teaching all ages an outlet within dance.
Our goal is to create a new hip-hop scene for the Las Vegas community and for the world by training people about breakdancing and about being a good person.
Zoologic derived from an adult breakdance crew called Knucklehead Zoo in 2012. A few classes quickly turned into a full-blown program in 2015 with a Zoologic dance team called Break Ninjas.
Zoologic basically means, logic that's not used by other people. Logic that's just used by people that are in the zoo. Usually stuff that you shouldn't be doing. So that's where the name Zoologic came from.
A new hip-hop scene for the Las Vegas community has sprouted and is rapidly growing. Zoologic wants to keep the traditions of breaking and dance alive.
I like Zoologic because it's just fun.
It's completely changed her. She loves it. It's all she does. It's all she thinks about. She does headstands on the floor, at home. She loves it.
With Studio G, I'm Tessa Cardwell.
These kids sure do make it look easy. Be sure to check out Zoologic to get some pep in your step.
Midterms week has started. Studio G reporter Chase Christensen went out to discuss with students their ways of preparing for exams.
In honor of midterm week, I spoke with a few students to talk about their study tips, techniques, and what food they eat in the morning to fuel their brains.
When it comes to midterms, I tend to stay longer and study. I usually go to the second floor of the library for tutoring because sometimes I have a difficult time with math.
When I have the chance, I just stay inside here. I don't even leave it. Once I'm here, I stay here for hours and hours.
I eat orange and a sandwich. Well, I always bring snacks. I always bring granola bars or oranges, fruit.
Students should use the library to study and to stay focused during midterm week. The library will be open until midnight. Good luck on your midterms, Rebels. For Studio G, I'm Chase Christensen.
The best of luck on your midterms, Rebels. Study hard and make sure to get a good night's rest and eat a nutritious breakfast every day.
That's all we have time for today.
Thanks for tuning in with us this week. We'll see you again on another episode of Studio G.